Isotype, and it's Isotype. Isotype's one from set, flushing. Vega 1, where's he come from? Vega 1's got up and won.
And it's Centervise, what a star, won the Caulfield Cup.
Oh, Mystic Aroma, 3 lengths in.
There go, you mug.
Is it still $14 or not?
5.
Oh, was it? Oh, it was 14.
Well,
I saw it the other day. I was like, didn't mind the look of it.
Mugs, we're actually recording, but we're mid the ball here. So, Lloydie, what have you?
Doesn't matter.
No.
I'm cheering. Run a nice 4th at each way odds.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
As you do. As
Bye,
you do.
Mugs.
But mate, we're getting it out of the way now because the beanie's on because we are amidst the ball.
Yep.
And seriously, I think I'll get sued if I say that. Like, but hopefully our good friends at Sportsbet just give the Mugs something to bet on balance-wise this weekend because it's a bloody big weekend up here, Mugs. It's not only Hollandale Stakes Day. It's Mystic Aroma first up, Gold Coast Guineas Day, which we'll get to in a second. But it's a big weekend. Stud race season officially kicked off. Bean's back. We're back in the penthouse, mate. You had your week off. Lloyd and I will talk about our race day experience. But how does it feel, mate, to be back with the Mugs?
Mate, survived the Rona. Good to be back with the boys here. So we performed last week as well. We had a few nice prize winners, which was good to see after the absolute clean out the week before.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was good to get a few home there at Eagle Farm, which I think is becoming fast becoming our favourite betting track, which is
Ignore yesterday. But
yeah.
It is.
Going good.
And, well, look, I'm glad you are over it because I'm sitting very close to you, as usual. But I need your vibes. Lloydie's maybe 1.5 away, so he's safe.
Yep.
But no, Lloydie, we were there last Saturday. Members Rewards Day, always a big day at the farm. And people were up and about, which was good to see. You have to take our word for it. You can't look at the old Brisbane Race Club socials, unfortunately. Missed the opportunity there, but hey, we don't work for them. Someone gets paid to do their stuff, so good on them.
That's right. We've got it.
But this weekend, are you excited or are you excited?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Excited in green.
There you go. Excited in green.
Yeah.
Even better. We are Team Blue though, just remember that.
Well, that's right.
They're Mugs. But look, we are playing the waiting game with Misty. So Gold Coast Guineas out there, Mugs. Race number 7, I believe it is on the card. Yep, getting some nods from both you lads. We still need 2 more to come out as of this recording. So generally we chuck this up on a Thursday night, goes up on the YouTube on the Friday. So any of those big stables that are watching, which we know you all do, just do us a solid. And you know what? Don't talk amongst each other. Just scratch yours out of the limb. So there's maybe 4 or 5 that go around, and we pick ourselves up with a nice little price check because we need to get some more beanies for the Mugs out there. We need to get some race day pins.
Yep.
The boys.
87,000 of the winner too. So.
Oh, there we go.
87,000 reasons to smile.
Exactly right.
87,000 reasons to scratch your horse. Like, come on.
Well, that's exactly right. We'll get stuck in.
Yeah.
We'll hone in because I know, Bean, you're not the biggest fan of the Gold Coast, but when the quality horses come to town, it could be a different story.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about the quality of racing there. I just I generally have a bit of trouble backing the odd winner there, so I'm looking forward. I've gone. There's a couple of shorties, a few, mostly Southerners, I think. I think it'll be a heavy track though, and the rail is in the true, but I think there's plenty of rain predicted this week and next, so apparently we're going to be on boats in Brisbane next week, and I think it's starting sort of tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So I think it was a soft 7 I saw this morning. So if there's any
upgraded to a 6, but storms predicted.
It's just a track that doesn't drain well, so that's something to keep in mind.
It'll be
if you're having a
bogfest.
bet there, I think it'll be a bit of a swamp.
Well, and you're almost looking forward to because the next weekend's Doom and 10,000 day. So we could be looking at the soft heavy for that day, but a few of these horses that might be in the noms for the big ones. Tread them with water a little bit.
Well, if we get the rain that because they've said 1,000 mils again. Like if we get that again, the Doom and 10,000 cannot run.
Might
so
be the Eagle
We'll hold
Farm
it. Do the divine prophets run on a heavy track?
Fingers crossed. We don't get it, but
You're right, Bean. Rail's back in the true too. So last meet they had here was 2 weeks ago. They didn't race there last week, and Rail was out 9, I think, that day, and they were getting well off the rail. So expecting maybe that rail to be pretty hot.
Yeah.
At least for the first couple, but be good if you drew barrier 1 that day. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But before we get to race 7, we need 6 winners to absolutely go berserk. And you know, we never say gamble responsibly. So it is an absolute truckload job in Missy in race 7. So we're not going to start that. BS now. But when we're talking big dogs, we're not only talking the trainers that are up here. Race 1, we've got a 1400 metre play Gold Coast. And the big dog himself, J-Mac, is in town. And short way home here in the first, rides the bark for the Neesham yard. Wide draw, $2.70. You're competing with the Wallers who are here as well. Big Willie Pikes up on Jack the Lad for the Waller yard too. Mixed Snitz Fly, a couple of locals been.
Yeah, I think Huey's up here as well, isn't he? He's got a couple of rides I saw too. Look, I'm actually going a bit wide in the first, to be honest. There's a horse here, trained locally, ridden by the king himself in King Callow, who has made the Gold Coast home and, sits up and rides 3 or 4 winners every weekend when they're running there. It's an absolute track specialist, and that is Smooth Move. It's got 1 minute a second from 2 starts, track and trip. It draws to get all the options from 9. I think sort of on the speed maps, it's sort of midfield, but the way Noel rides, he tends to put them in the right spot at the right time. It handles the heavy, which I think is sort of where we're going to be sitting in terms of track conditions come Saturday. And if you thought Nash gave Think It Over a workout, well, this man is he's the only rider in Australia that gives horses more of a workout to get the job done. He if they're half a chance, he'll get them home. So I'm with Smooth Move at about $21 in the first.
Yeah, payday for the king, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big race up at Rocky, so we've got the King of Rocky.
Yeah.
Here, are you tumbling into the king down the GC there too, King?
No, but I thought we were going to vibe then when you said gone wide with a local, because I'm with Montes for Marianne Brosnan.
Yeah.
I know we both were on it last start, and it lost a leg in betting. It was like 9s out to 20s, and there was actually a huge run. It got home, ran 4th, got beat 2 lengths.
Yeah.
Gonna have to get back again, I think, from barrier 14. Its best runs have been when it's led though, so I half wouldn't be disappointed to see Robbie Fradd cross the field and lead. But yeah, like I said, huge run, 4 starts at the track for a win, a second and a third. Yeah, $21 as well, that'll do me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it? The only other local that sort of leads unwillingly is Parko. Good old Parko.
Yeah.
So when I saw the speed map and thought, oh, here we go, we've got an obvious leader here, and then it's Parko, he's paying $150 and will never probably win another race again. But I'm sticking with the local forms here. The boss man going down with Snitz Fly, just because I think it may sit right behind Parko off a bit of a mad speed. Got no real heavy form. A lot of them don't. Ryan Maloney on board. Jimmy TJ Golan. Recipe in race 1. We're trying to get through this quickly. Right. And we're moving on to race 2, because I think this, when we talk about speed, this is what this race is created for. I think you win a Harley Davidson if you win the Bad Out.
I know they used to. I don't know if they still do.
Oh,
It'd be
come on,
stiff
Gold
if
Coast.
they don't.
Oh, you'd be filthy.
Yeah.
Because that's probably what J-Mac's up here for. He's got everything else in the world, but doesn't have a Harley.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, get it for Katie after he recently proposed. Congrats to the young man. Very well done.
Yeah, our gifts coming there, J-Mac.
Yeah.
So we might need
Bugs
you to.
Beatty and
Yeah,
try to steal a
Bugs
belt.
Beatty.
Well, I don't think we've got any badges left, so maybe a mug. But a bit of a Gold Coast specialist, not J-Mac, but is Remlap's Gem. 2 from 4 in the heavy if it does get there, so probably not a concern. 2 from 2 at the track. The big yes though, 6 from 6 at the 900. Yeah. It's an absolute bat out of hell specialist.
Yeah.
And even going through the form, it's stacked up. The horses that have been running behind it. Lloydie, is this maybe a into Zaaki early play for you?
Oh, that'd work because they both just win.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything to add?
Nah, it's winning. It's a pretty astute booking by the Singleton Yard to get J-Mac the ride on Remlap's Gem, isn't it?
Well, you're not booking him for
the
a
best
trial,
the best
are you?
jockey in Australia at the moment. And if anyone argues with that, they can jump off a cliff. If it's wrong.
Well,
it wins. It wins.
There may be a Facebook group of 44,000 people that own Lyrical Girl that disagree with you, but
They're also
I think
Very
we're
much so.
we're in unison, which
Yes.
is all that matters.
Just a quick mention: is Needorp half a hope from K-Mac out of 10? I thought behind the hot speed, if they all go absolutely ballistic. I know that leaders generally win this race, obviously, but if the gaps open up, it's going right. Sure,
I've
got
got
him
him
First start.
second.
Yeah, that's how
And
I saw it.
is it Needorp's probably best barrier drawer in the last 2 years as
Yeah,
well?
I think it's normally from Mudgee Rose,
Yeah.
so this is a good start. 10 of the Gold Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, got to move on because we've got a big one next. The sponsors, they come to the party and send us a sign, which we printed out. It costs 44 cents, so Chris sent that in your mail next time. But gee, this is the Gold Coast Cup, 2,400 metres, sponsored by good friends at 4X. Give them a shout out, you do love a beer. LaBelle is your favourite there for the Pike and Mar Eustace team. So when we're talking big guns, that's what we mean, Mugs. They're all up here to steal our chocolates. But the local champ reunites with that boy J-Mac in Humbolt Current.
Yeah,
Gets J-Mac on board.
What?
Absolutely woeful last start. Hasn't really done anything since it dicked him here at the Gold Coast. 2 starts back and is yet to miss a place at the Gold Coast. So if you are a bit of a sucker for the Humboldt Current handicaps, he's well in probably here as he'll ever be in his local cup. Bean, is it that simple? Have I talked you into it? I hope not.
No, I'm with the master trainer from our town in TJ Golan. I thought Tabian Prince was a pretty good bet here, to be honest. Look, it's drawn the pole. I think it was at the Gold Coast, actually. Or was it Doomben or the Gold Coast? It was definitely a tight turning track. Where came out about, no, it was a while. It came out about 20 or 30s, and it was just like they were jumping out of trees to back it. I think it started about $5. Led them off, just kicked and won. Look,
it might have actually been this day last year.
Yeah, it absolutely loves the slop. If Collett skips away on the turn, to be honest, I think this thing can win. I know there's a fair bit of class. A couple of these come through the Sydney Cup and stuff like that, I think. And it's just 3,200 back to, 2,400. I know they're classy gallopers, but I just don't know if that's the right recipe. I think it's building nicely. 750, I mean, it's not in super well at the weights, but I think it can just steal it, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was a chance. I thought the other golden horse was a chance too, Youngblood, but that would mean having to back Youngblood. I'm going with one of our Across the Ditch visitors, Soprano Supreme. 4-year-old mare by Contributor. She's only had the 9 starts, 3 wins, and they're back-to-back in March and April at Rotorua. She won by 3.5 over 1950 metres and then won by 2.5 over the 2200 last start as a $1.60 favourite too. So they had a bit of an opinion, obviously, over there. Comes here, first time beyond the 2200, gets to obviously a 1.5 miles, but Karen McAvoy on, 54 kilos, drawn out a bit just to sort of, I haven't watched any replays, but I imagine they'll just look for a midfield spot and hopefully she'll be too good for them.
Hopefully. Well, there's another Kiwi in the field called Swords Drawn with big bad Opie Bosson over as well.
Yeah,
so
it's a huge day.
Yeah, huge day, but my rule is I don't back Kiwis first up in Oz, mate. So fingers crossed one of us is right. No, I'm going Alakahan. I was on in the Sydney Cup at some pretty big odds and did absolutely nothing. But the last couple of starts before that, really gallant in defeat, running fourth, as they always do when you're on at over the odds. But I think just, if it's going to be heavy, this is back to 2,400, so it's going to be fit. There's a bit of form probably going around at Warrnambool with that Sydney Cup. I think a few of the horses are backing up there. So interesting to see if that was just the 3,200 was a bridge too far for it and it's cooked, or the horse just came through it, fit as a fiddle. What's the next big thing that we can do? So there's a couple there probably coming up from interstate under that little bit.
Is it an afterthought or this is the plan?
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
well, when they're the stayers, mate, the rule with stayers, once you get them fit, keep them fit, because I guess you've got this race here, you got Doomben Cups, Q22. That's
the query, isn't it? Like, are they just is it the run for the Doomben Cup and just
It did win this race last year, didn't it?
Alakahan, I think so.
I
backed it that
beat Humboldt Current and Roman Cash. So there you go.
Yeah. There's some great form ones
with
there.
54 on its back. So.
Oh, and he gets into 57, so that's probably a push against, isn't it?
Yeah.
Query is not on this next horse's ability, class-wise, because we've seen it 2 from 2. It's Nettuno.
Yep.
2 rhymes well.
Nettuno.
Nettuno. Now, $2.15 is what you're getting here in the Ken Russell Memorial Classic for the 2-year-olds. So, again, this is quite that field that it's going to set some big things up for what's to come in Don't Go Broke season. We've got to remember our own hashtags. Can't give the BRC too many freebies, can we? But Lloydie, I know we've talked about Nettuno as maybe just a bit too brilliant to stretch out to a JJ sort of mile. So is it chips in here at the 1,200?
Yeah, I think so. Well, they didn't actually nominate for the JJ either, so
There you go. There's your push.
There's a push. Coolmore apparently. So in the end of the year down in Melbourne. I think it's too good for him here. Just hasn't done anything wrong. Like goes forward, sits up on the speed, and then gives a big kick.
One on heavy.
One on heavy.
So conditions won't be an issue.
Yep. So yeah, exactly. Drawn perfectly in barrier 4. Earmuffs pre-race only, first time. I like that.
Oh, I do like that.
It's going to be locking out the mugs on the fence.
Yep.
Absolutely giving it to Rhino Maloney to tick one through. Well, Ben, does Nettuno lead, or she's a belter maybe from barrier 2 kick up on the inside?
Oh, I mean, I might kick up. I think Nettuno probably leads. I'm a bit concerned about one other in the race for the Wally Yard in London. I think look, the form around is pretty good. It came out of a race at Randwick, I believe. It was 4th behind Fireburn and Revolutionary Miss. Now, that's probably the best form in the nation at the moment. It's $9.
You'd probably hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we get Jimmy Orman on board. Look, I've got Nettuno in London. I'll be it's a 2-bet strategy for that particular race because I just if something's to upset it, I think that'll be the horse. Yeah.
Pretty fancy 2-bet strategy, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like Benny 2-bets.
Benny 2-bets.
Just an insurance policy.
London,
there.
well,
I think it's a very good chance.
Well, it's one of those ones, mate. I know you're a bit of a value snuff, but getting $2.80 at a place on a horse like London versus the $2.20 favourite. Yeah. Myself, though, I'm just going to plunge in Nettuno, so that's how we do it here, don't we?
Easy.
Stroll's back there too, actually. She's a nice horse. She's only had, how can you pot her? She's only had 2 starts.
Yeah, how can you pot her, mate?
Oh, yeah, she had. I was thinking of another one, that's right. Yeah,
Fetch.
Yeah, that one.
What happened there? God.
First
time, and then it's just not. Anyway, we move on.
Call in, Maddie or Stephen. Let us know what's going on with Fetch.
Before we move on to the 5th, it's a brilliant return here of one of our quality segments that's taking a bit of a break, taking a bit of a back seat of late. And that is Beans in the Sea.
I'm talking wop, 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 that's some wet ass.
And I tend to stick away from sort of potting horses that have a couple of wins and that kind of thing. I want to see ones that haven't won for a while. But there's a horse in this next race in the 5th at the GC. I don't think it'll ever win again, to be honest. I think it's done. And that is Starla for the Chris Waller Yard. This thing is absolute. It has to be. Surely it's time for retirement. It's got 37 starts, I think 5 wins. Two of those have come in the last year, mind you, though. So up here, it's doing the old, we can't win anything in Sydney, we'll come to Brisbane job. But, with average odds of sort of 395 the last 12 months, mate, it's a cat. It's time to retire, Chris. We've had enough.
He'll probably come up, win the Tats Tiara, and then retire.
Yeah, as they all do. I know.
Anyway, we can put that up on the socials if that does happen. But yeah, Starla is in the sea, mate.
Starla, and we've been on the wagon the last couple of weeks.
I was on last time.
I've been a sucker for it over years.
It's all Nick Lloyd's fault, mate.
Yeah.
What did it place in maybe in Oaks up here one year? What's its claim to fame?
It did something, because otherwise I wouldn't have backed it.
It's won 400,000 in prize money.
Well, while Lloydie scrolls through that, been very astute analysis, as always, mate. Well, give us your winner for race 5, because the in the sea always gets people fired up, and there is a Group 1 race, believe it or not, on Saturday. So we'll head down to Radelaide, as they call it, only in Adelaide. No one else in the world calls it that. But race 5, mate, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've sided with a Sydney runner here, and I know we're pretty keen on J-Mac, but this time I've flipped over the page and turned to K-Mac. Cafe Royale, form this prep's been super, comes 2 subsequent wins. Both have been on similar tracks in terms of sort of tight turning tracks, I believe. Canterbury and Warwick Farm, which tend to play to the on paces here. Look, it's drawn in 11. I don't think there's a stack of pace in this race. I think if K-Mac can lead, absolutely loves the slot, absolutely loves the trip. I just think if it can jump and lead, I think it's going to be pretty hard to catch, and on the up and bounce, I'm happy with about $6.50.
Okay, Nick's like complete here. Got that out. Yeah. Starla, what did it do?
Nothing.
Oh, moving on.
Not that I can see anyway. Just benchmark races, really. Won a 3-year-old handicap at Doomben.
It's definitely off the bench now, isn't it?
Yeah, off the bench and in the sea.
Yeah. I'm going to give Bonham another chance. only had the 2 starts for Golan in Australia and ran last in both of them at Caulfield and Flemington, but Group 1 winner in New Zealand, beat Brando over there in the 11 Classic. When it trialled before it went to Melbourne, it was third to Rothfire and Yonker, and it showed a little bit of ability
I
there.
think I backed it down in South when it went
There
down
was
there.
a lot of buzz.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Because I backed it too.
I just think up here, no trial, which TJ doesn't usually do, might be going all right. 1400 first up, and it's going to get onto a wet track. 2 from 2 on a heavy, and a New Zealand heavy at that. So happy to be with. I don't know what price. I think it was
$11 I'm seeing now.
okay, it's probably unders, but yeah.
I think it was about 13s or 14s in the
right.
markets.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to be with that at around just those odds.
Yeah, mate, I thought the same, and it's just from that form of prep, the hype, straight down to Melbourne too. So Tony doesn't send him down there. He's going down to hunt Group 1s.
Yeah.
So he was down there. I know I think someone's into it from a breeding proposition as well.
Yeah.
So
If it gets beat 15 lengths, I won't be shocked, but I don't want to back something else and it win and go, oh, it obviously does go all right.
Well, it's a really tricky race because you got 54 Chris Waller B graders in this one.
I found this one an absolute
April Rain is your favourite.
Is it a grade? I think it is.
Oh, gee, don't say that. But even like Yamazaki, 18 months ago would be your Gold Coast absolutely launched, but it hasn't really done much for quite some time. With Costa Yard now though. So
yeah, I think it's probably the danger, but yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Speaking of danger, there's no real danger of this next race stealing any limelight from the Gold Coast. Because there is a Group 1 today, and there's 16 in the field. So the Singstar Stakes, just for fillies and mares, I believe. Don't really care if I'm wrong. I think most people stopped listening by now, but when you got a horse like September Run, albeit last start Group 1 winner, at $4.40 as your favourite on a track like Morphettville, which just they win from anywhere because no one really knows what to do. I think they get a couple of locals with lawnmowers across the road to mow the lawn after a day of racing when no one's been there all day. You've actually been to Morphettville once upon a time.
I have.
Which makes you one of maybe 15 people in the world that have. What's the scene like down in Morphettville and South Australia as a whole, racing buzz-wise?
Look, it was pretty good. I was shocked actually. We turned up at the gate, I remember, to purchase tickets, and I said, oh, it was they were like, oh, $30. So I went to hand over 60 cash. This was on Goodwood Day. I'm like, no sir, 30 total. So it was $15 a piece to get into GA. But look, it's a pretty big stand. It's got a long straight there with plenty of marquees up there. I actually had a belter there. I really enjoyed Morphettville. And I had a pretty good day, I think, too, because that was the year Sense of Occasion won the Doomben Cup, I believe. It was on the same day as Goodwood.
So you were betting up at Doomben while you were at
Morphettville.
I think that sort of sums it up.
I think Furyk won the
Furyk.
the mares race at the end of the day or
Mate.
something. Craig Williams was there. I was like, oh yeah.
Green
Anyway,
and blue.
look, pretty hard race. I mean, there's a couple of like really good horses in here, like Away Game. I mean, you've got to throw September and I think in that category now, and it's ticked off the Group 1. Then the non-winners like Brooklyn Hustle and that. But I'm sided with two of the locally trained horses in Champagne Dreams, which has been kind over the period, and Instant Celebrity. I thought the second to Bella Bella, who's an absolute it's a superstar really in terms of ability, comes back to its own grade. A second first up, Daniel Moore. I think it's drawn in 12, and then down the bottom. Was it down the bottom? No. Yeah, barrier 4 for Champagne Dreams. It can just tuck in behind the pace. I think that's generally the place to be at Morphettville. I think sort of the inside 4 lanes is about it. But September Run, $4.40. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, yep.
I think there's only 2 winning chances in this field, to be honest. One of them, Champagne Dreams. I'm keen on it. Good last start winner in the Redelva, led all the way and put them to the sword at the end of it too. Yeah. So I think with only the 55 on her back from barrier 4, we know where she's going to be in the run. And if she gets beaten, it'll be by Bella Nipotina, Kieran Maher, Dave Eustace, Johnny Allen. I think she's deserving of a Group 1. I think her 3 or 4 Group 1 runs, but last spring there's 2 of them, and she placed behind Nature Strip and Wild Ruler. So Jonker, sorry. So that form is good enough.
The Champagne Dream is in poorly the weights with 55 on her back against this lot though.
No,
That was my only
it's
query.
weight for age, so it's the older males get 56 and a half,
yeah,
3 year olds
right,
get
yeah.
55. Yeah.
You're both wrong, I'm afraid.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about horses that deserve a Group 1.
You don't even have to say it. It's disgusting already.
It's not Brooklyn Hudson. Don't fret, boys. The switchboard will blow up. Away game. Barrier 1, speed to burn. This has to be its go. This has to be the most perfect setup you could possibly get for this horse.
It's won 3.6 million
Yeah,
in prize money.
it is.
It's unbelievable.
It just
Magic
doesn't
Millions.
win
that's true, yeah.
Group 1s. But
Yeah.
this is the chance.
Yeah.
I was keen on Bella Vella. My worry is if it doesn't get to the front.
Bellavella's not in this race.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, that's why I was wondering why you're all over Instant Celebrity. But
Wonderful.
also there's you got to remember Bella Vella retired to stud.
Yep.
Didn't come in foal. First up, fresh as a daisy, and then that long layoff second up, sort of unwritten rule. So that
Yeah, that is
right.
what most punters abide by.
Come back. What's the other race? The Goodwood. Maybe it's well in. But I think away game could just go Barrier 1 Zing. I think it was maybe last year in the Goodwood where it carried like 49
Yeah.
in the handicap, and
$3.
it was absolutely slaughtered that day. Which I think it was backed into like $3 favourite too. So Mara and Eustace, they need the Group 1 for this girl. Bang, this is it. See you later.
Yeah.
Breeding barn.
Yep.
I hate that horse too though. So there's
I was
also
going to say you back it way too much often for a bloke that reckons he doesn't like it.
Oh, well, that's right. It's, yeah, let's, have a good look at this field though, because you can see a lot of these horses up here for a Tats Tiara.
Yeah. Actually,
And a lot of them are very much
there
cats.
won't be any. Have you heard the debacle about Kieran Maher and David Eustace?
No.
Well, nominations for all the big Group 1s in Queensland were Tuesday, the 3rd of May,
Oh no.
which was day 1 of the Bull.
Oh no.
They've missed the nominations, so no Kieran Maher and David Eustace horses nominated for Queensland, or they can pay the $9,000 late nomination fee instead of the $750 nomination fee.
That's definitely
Is that that's per horse?
that's definitely owners are saying you're
Yep.
covering
Yep.
this fee
Yep.
if we're going there.
Just happened to coincide with day 1 of the Bull.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty. Surely.
maybe we need to have Chris Waller to have more of a bull presence then, so
Yeah.
he's in the same boat for next year.
Yeah, then we might. Then missed you.
Then we get a run,
Missed you
wouldn't we?
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
James Cummings, Maher, Eustace and Waller all pisses the tit at the Bull.
jeez, wouldn't that be a party?
Yeah.
At least it's not Mornington. That's when they get in trouble. Boys, we keep the show back on course. So we've got some wider bets there in the Singstar, which is all right.
Probably should have trifecta.
And
Running double.
I think we've had this chat too many times.
Let's move on.
Well, I think we can move into a pretty good thing back here at the GC.
Yep.
Race number 6, the 1800 metre bracelet. So we're talking, this is a listed race, of course.
Yep.
Gypsy Goddess comes back from a, probably not an unsuccessful Oaks campaign. I think just wet tracks and few hiccups along the way weren't too great, but
Bottomless. Yeah.
bottomless.
Yeah.
But Honey Creep has been scratched, the Godolphin false hype horse. So that means we're getting $2 for Gypsy Goddess. You got Nettuno early in the day. When we come to race 8, I know Lloydie's going to spruik up. Is it A, Lloydie, just a multi-banker today, Gypsy Goddess? B, are we getting on now for the Oaks? Or C, are we throwing that out the window and we found something else?
Yeah, we got the Oaks winner coming around, that's for sure.
No, there's always a but.
Yeah, but it's not Gypsy Goddess.
Oh, there it is.
Well, probably, I don't know if it's a relation, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We've seen Nudge sort of go around, and Mr. Waller got Smirk. Chris Waller, Huey Bowman on board. Last start winner at Canterbury. Now, it was only 0.05 of a length. It just got there. But I really like the way she actually knuckled down to the task. Like, Vittoriosa led, Smirk come to its outside, looked to have had the race shot to bits and had to fight back. So I like that. That was on a heavy 8 over the mile, or 15.50. 4 starts, 2 wins and a second. Comes up here now, 1800. Waller's won 3 before. Won it last year with Grace and Harmony. I think he can win it again with Smirk, and she can go on to the Oaks.
Yeah, I'm with a southerner, but I've gone the way of dynasties for J-Mac and Peter and Paul Snowden. They there's a bit of a sense of timing about these guys. I mean, I'm just, my query is GC Guineas and just back from 2400. I don't. It's nothing but class, but I think dynasties could be the go here for the Snowdens, if not this, perhaps into the Oaks. Handles the sting out of the track. It'll be back in the run, but if they start sort of to come wide on the corner at the Gold Coast, which if it is chopped out in the inside after the first few, then I think dynasties can be just in behind them. And just the fact that the booking is the big push for me here. I just think I look at the field and there's a lot of horses there that J-Mac could be on, and he's sided this way. I think that's a bit of a
She's been up a while too.
Yeah,
bit of a crack, eh? Oof, bit of a crack. Well, Lloydie. Unfortunately, Smirk, no relation to Nudge, so we'll move on quickly there. Off Mokalua as well. Interesting.
Well, interesting. I actually looked at that and I thought I was happy to take $4 last start and getting 20s or thereabouts.
Yeah.
And the run wasn't like that bad. She probably wanted further. I just don't think she goes a yard in the wet.
Well, and we're looking to have a wet track.
Yeah, exactly. So.
All right. Well, if we had a admin assistant, this could probably knock up Smirk as Lloydie's 17th bet now on the Oaks. So good luck to you,
How many
mate.
have you had, mate? You just every week there's an Oaks winner.
No,
I'm going a bit left field here. I don't think this will be an Oaks horse, but we're talking a heavy track. We're talking Gold Coast.
Yep.
We're talking a horse that won here under those conditions by 8 lengths, named Secret Tales, who seems to just run good and heavy.
Yep.
So conditions to suit Barrier 1. Just got to go from the gate. I think it will.
Good mares jockey on board.
Great mares jockey on board. Fortunately, not on Lyrical Girl, is she? But anyway, onwards and upwards. But Canadian Dance is the fancied of the two, so that could be a nice little each-way play. Taranga not here, which usually they've run against each other every week for the last 4 years.
Roses with it.
Roses,
They wanted to split the two.
That'd be next week or the week after?
Doom and Cup Day, fortnight.
Doom
so
and
they've
Cup
got
Day.
this fortnight into the Roses, fortnight in the Oaks.
Right.
Yeah.
The Oaks at Eagle Farm.
No, actually, there might be one more. No, the Oaks is at Eagle Farm. So there's another
So
one
we're
between.
going to run the lead-up run at a different track to the
Yeah.
Oaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah, just like the Derby.
Yeah. What do we know though? Just follow the bloody race, really. All right, back on. Dun, 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 dun. So the Gold Coast Guineas, Brandon's Gold Coast Guineas.
Yeah,
Put a bit of bloody cash into it. I don't even get a freaking start.
Should be valid examples.
I mean, we're talking about Rawton systems up here in Queensland, and we're really trying hard to make it happen, but for some reason we can't.
Yep.
Look, the big question is going to be the track, and hopefully a few come out with that being said. So, Lloydie, before we get into your analysis, we'll take a bit of unbiased opinion here too, because obviously if Mystic Aroma gets a run, it's a launch job, it's a moral, it's the best bet of the century. Could be a little bit of politics involved for us not to get a run, but we figured, what a better way to find out how she's going. Tell us more.
Yeah, obviously Mark Duplessis, he's been kind to us in the past. He's got a good record on our little girl, our big girl, and he's pretty happy with how she's going. So we thought, why not, instead of just keeping it to the owners, we'll let everyone just hear how good Mystic Aroma is going. She's fine.
I did her this morning. You'd feel like she'd already won again. She's just that well and feeling really good. Her work's been, in fact, her last gallop on Tuesday I did by herself with the blinkers on. I said to her, I thought it was the best gallop she's actually shown, especially this time in.
Yep.
She had a real good, and I think it was brought on by the really good class Eagle Farm gallop she had whenever it was, end of last week in company, and she loved that, and I think it's just really brought her on. But, it's obviously a very tough race. She's got the ideal draw. Look, her wet form isn't proven yet, but I think she's really flying. Prince of Boom, Sort of State, the Kiwi horse, even Godolphin's horse. It's hard to pick one to say is going to be the one to beat.
Yep.
But I really hope she does get a run to see where she is in terms of where we're going next with the company. But I said last time when I got off her before she went for a break that she deserves to have a crack at nice races this time in, because every prep that she has, she just comes back stronger. I'm not sure just yet whether she's better this time in, but she is definitely got stronger again. So that's a very positive sign, and I'm really been enjoying riding her work and seeing her progress, and hopefully her time is now.
Fingers crossed, mate. No, yeah,
for sure.
No, thanks for that, Mark. That's good.
And wow, I thought we were pretty good with Spruks.
Yeah, he's pretty excited, isn't he, Mark? On 2+.
Pretty excited. And well, that's it. If you ever had much to say or do with the 2+, he's quite a reserved character. So up and about, well and truly. Well, Lloydie, if she doesn't make the race, how are you seeing this Gold Coast Guineas?
I won't see because I just have tears filling my eyes. Look, I kind of didn't. I mean, I obviously have done the form because I thought we're just living, breathing.
Yeah, that's as far as I got nothing beyond that. So. Yeah,
look, Prince of Boom, clearly the one to beat. My only concern is it's now 6 weeks between runs because it missed the run in the Mick Dittman because it was on gear. So that's my knock. A couple of odds that I thought were maybe overs. I thought Miss Hipstar was one that she'll handle the wet. She'll be in the right spot in the run. And she's drawn sort of well. Joyous Legends third behind Rubiquitous in that same race, and might be wanting the 1200 now. And the other one was Battleton, but it's scratched. So, yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add there, Bang?
No. Look, I was keen on Joyous Legend if we don't get a run. The only other one that I thought was half a hope. Where is it? Is Grey Defence. Just the old Les Ross if it's really sloppy on the fence, and King Callow on board. I thought it's an absolute smoky at huge price, but they're the two apart from Misty. I'm just steering away from the favourites. I think this race is a bit more open than the market.
I think
to be honest, I mean Prince of Boom should be the favourite, but maybe $4 or $5 or something like that.
I think Sportsbet's form guide will say sort of state 4 from 4 on a soft. Have you got it there?
I can confirm that. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So on Racing Australia, no soft track runs. So they're New Zealand soft, which is an Australian good kind of thing. And I reckon I can remember it won 4 of its first 5 starts in New Zealand as a 2-year-old. Yeah. And it was coming over for the Golden Slipper, but they didn't come because of the wet autumn. Right. So I don't know if it actually
does as good as what it says.
Yeah. Just be careful, punters.
Yeah. It's a tricky race, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. No, I liked Miss Hipstar as well, because even if they all get the start, Prince of Boom's got barrier 16. 4 moves ahead. Handy horse, barrier 20, and you can keep going wider and wider for the Waller runners. Couple of them there as well, which I think one will come out. So
the one
Curate could be there at the gate, and Prince Boom might get a run. Anyway.
Well, that's right. Yeah, the one that's probably overs too is the other Kiwi. I thought Meritable, the colt, only won the 1 from 5, runner up 3 times, and runner up in Group 1.
We've now tipped 5 horses.
Yeah.
Basically, just wait for Mystic Aroma to get in the field.
Well, that's right. Sounds like we're going to do our cash.
Desperate now.
We're going to do our cash either way.
How many bets have you got on this race, Lloydie?
I've got 1. And I've got 1,000 in the next one, and they're all the same horse.
All right. Well, look, the next race might be quite quick. So this will be a perfect lead-in though, Bean, because we'll get your 2 cents, and then I'll speak, and then he's got no info to talk about. The Holland Days Sauce Stakes. It's Ripper on a steak. If you've never had it before, have you had it before?
Holland Days, yeah.
You just got Hollandale on the mind, man, don't you? Yeah. It's just itching. Look at him. It's itching. Does anything trouble? We were talking, before. If it gets to that heavy, well, last start, Queen Elizabeth Stakes, probably the best weight for age race this time of year you could ask for.
It's pretty disgusting that Ayrton's $7 and Zaaki's $1.60. To be honest, Ayrton should be about 100 to 1. To be honest, I don't give it a hope in hell.
I might take that. You do know that we've bagged Ayrton every week for the last 2 years, and it's got a pretty decent record.
Yeah, it's got a decent record.
It does actually go alright.
It goes alright, but $7 against Zaaki. Like, surely it should be longer than that. I think Zaaki wins. It's probably a no bet race for me, to be honest. But the champ should get it done, I guess.
Yeah.
Not my favourite horse in the
There
world,
is a grey in the race, Polly Grey. Does Zaaki lead from barrier 4 and just go?
Yeah, it'll be
handy.
I don't know if there's much other speed in the race.
That's right. I just had a quick look. Well, half of my Wallers and they never lead.
No.
Maybe Hale Manhattan can take it up.
Got to take it up. Yeah.
Well, who's got Hale? Brady Stewart. I know he's a big fan. Loves a couple of beers and listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe that's Holbert's go. Just run them off their feet. See Zaaki pass him at the 800 and then hold him for second.
Yeah, and it'll probably be about the 800 that he'll go past him and put 5 on it. But interesting fact, this race 12 months ago was the highest rating race of the Brisbane Carnival, the Winter Carnival. So
it was a super field last year.
It was a good field, yeah.
Well, Zaaki was, it wasn't
Melody
favourite,
Bell
was
was
it?
in it.
He
It was an
did
absolute.
start favourite, yeah. He was 350 and a 250.
You had a few winners before then, obviously, and tumbled in.
No, I don't think I did actually, but I think I didn't get on in time. But seriously, he's a dead set $1.10 chance.
Cox Plate favourite, and he's running around in a Group 2.
Oh, he wins this by 4.
He gets in so well at the weights as well.
Yeah,
that was the other note I had. I was like, he gets in
J-Mac back on. Like, I know not on Jamie
weights.
Carr. She won the All-Star Mile on him. But
He's his jock.
James is, he knows the horse better than anyone.
Maybe our friends at Sportsbet, if you're listening, give us a price for Zaaki to go Hollandale, Doomben Cup, Q22, the triple.
I don't know if they go in the Q22. I know it's he nommed.
It's the cash grab though. Like, that's the
you'd
thing.
think.
Well, this what happened last year. He was underdone and still won by 4 lengths. Battle.
Yeah.
And he'd be a horse too that if they nom him there, a lot of horses won't go there.
And then they'll go, let's go there.
And they'll go, let's go there. There's 4 in the field and we've wasted another $500,000. Yeah, well, anyway. So, Zaaki into another $800,000 race. It's not, but it will be one day, Lloydie, because I know the potential's there. But, mate, this has pretty much been your 10 minutes on the show because we're going up to Rocky. Bing, did you hear about the Archer?
Oh, I did, mate. I did.
Nick Lloyd, maybe tell us all about it.
$440,000 slot race at the famous Callaghan Park. What more do you want to know?
It's actually the last race of the day up there as well.
It is, yes. Interesting. And just for, why, I don't know why it's this far, but I think it's about 40 minutes after the last of the Gold Coast. So when everyone's had enough of their day punting on metropolitan tracks and they turn it off and they wonder why there's no wagering on the big race at Rocky, maybe because it's at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the only thing they've stuffed up, to be honest. Should be race 6 at 3 o'clock.
Is it? What about the Singstar? You keep talking. I'll find what time that starts.
Okay, well, what do you want to know about Master Jamie and how far he's behind?
Nothing, because you've already told us week after week.
Yeah, no, look, Streets of Avalon is clearly the one to beat for mine. We're just pumping, the Hollandale Stakes field with Zaaki and Ayrton being the top 2 in the market, and Streets of Avalon's placed behind those two its last 2 starts. So if you've got Zaaki on Thunderstruck or Ayrton in this field, they're $1.40 at least. He's just drawn perfectly in 3 now too. I know I was talking to Ash Butler this morning. He'll want to dictate from barrier 2 and let Emerald Kingdom run and catch me if he can. But I think Streets of Avalon, I don't think he has to lead. He'll be in the top 4 in the run.
Yeah, of course.
You'll have Emerald Kingdom, you'll have Master Jamie, you've probably got Dawn Passage and Apache Chase go forward from there. Wider gates, maybe Holyfield, but Streets of Avalon just wins.
Speed battle, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. I went up and down. I'm with the favourite, and then I've got another bet as well. I thought Apache Chase. I just think it's I just like that yard. I like the comparison of Eagle Farm and Rocky, Burn Riding. Like, I just think it's a pretty good recipe up there. Draws in 7. I mean, not a huge field, so they'll be going forward from the inside. But like, Rocky's one of those tracks, they can sort of be like 4 wide around the corner and they can still kick on and win. It's just sort of works out a bit like that. The other one I've got a bet on is drawn out of it, and I just it's gone awfully of late. But I think the fact it's got a slot's a pretty decent push, and that's Dawn Passage. I thought it was half a chance at about the $10 quotes. I'll probably have 2 bets on them. I mean, take your point with Streets of Avalon, but I'll have a dabble there. It's a pretty hard race though. Like, I mean,
I honestly don't think you can count out Kubrick either. I know.
There's I know Streets of Avalon's the form in the race, like by a fair margin.
There's 10
but the rest
chances.
of them are all like half a hope. Like it's not like you wouldn't give them any chance of winning.
I think Master Jamie Dad said it'll run top 5 or 6. It'll run top half.
Yeah.
Okay.
Finally in a race where it's not carrying 400 kilos.
We'll move on quickly. Patchy Chase for me. It'll win the Stradbroke. Yeah.
I'm off it.
But you're right, Lloydie.
Yeah.
So this is race 8 at Rockhampton.
Yeah.
50 minutes after race 7 at Rockhampton to start with. That is fucking ridiculous. The Singstar's at 4:30. Last of the Gold Coast 4:29. 4:32 to be exact. So you got half an hour of nothing.
Yeah.
Why would you not run at race 7 at 4:10?
Yeah. Just before
the big. Well, you've got just after listed race. At Gold Coast, Zaaki's race. 20 minutes before the Singstar. Whose decision is that?
Not too sure, to be honest, but good hard look needed.
It's not the good people up at Rockhampton.
Oh, couldn't be.
It's the evil people at Sky Racing that spit at the times that you run here.
And it'll probably be on Sky too.
Fuck,
Split screened with Kembla Grange.
Oh God, please no.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're terrible, aren't they? Absolutely terrible.
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, take your winnings from the Archer and get back to the Gold Coast race 9, but you can't do that.
Build a bank. Yeah.
Build a bank, because there could be a pretty good one here as well in race 9. Orbison is back for Van Dyke. Now, he's pretty adamant if it gets heavy, he might not run. That's what I've heard. Don't know if you've heard any different, you two, but you're not really giving me much to argue with that. But let's just say Orbison gets in the field. This is the, I guess, the test, so to speak. It's a pretty decent field because shooting for gold is no slouch. They'll be trying to get to a Stradbroke or something like that if they can. Mass Destruction. Van Dyke's other runner, Desert Lord, never runs a bad drum here. Everywhere else is a little bit heart in your mouth kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Soxygon first up at $21. That is some depth. Simply Fly. Heavy track Gold Coast. Who knows what's going to rock up though. List goes on and on. This is a bit of a cracking race to finish the day with down the coast. Who wants to kick us off?
I think there's a dead set certainty in it.
What is it?
Well, what is it?
Shooting for gold.
Shooting for gold.
Yep. I don't think they'll beat it.
Barrier 3.
Yep.
Gets in pretty well.
Settles a bit closer than what we saw last up behind J. Sweet Bell. A little bit unlucky too. I know Jaden was filthy about it, but
Jaden.
Yeah, I know. Look, this horse, he rarely runs a bad race. He's won 50% of his races. I know the horse is flying. Barrier 3, it can be closer than what we saw. Like I said, Ben Thompson goes on 55. If it's heavy, tried on the heavy, but has won on a soft track before. 3 from 3 over 1200. That's his go. Gets there now. Simple as that, I think. Blast out.
Well, I'm with the favourite here in Orbison. I think if it doesn't run, then probably shooting for gold potentially. I mean, a bit of a sicko with Simply Fly, but God, if it ever goes in the gates and just jumps and runs, it'll be half a hope. Look, I mean, Orbison's just got. It's sort of that. Is it a superstar of the future kind of feel about it? I don't know. It's absolutely belted them. Look, I'm happy with from barrier 6. It probably goes forward and leads. Might get taken on by potentially Sir Warwick and Palacepan, but if it can camp behind those two, then I think it's going to get all the favours out in front, and I think it can probably be too good. I think there's probably a price discrepancy potentially. I think it maybe should be second in the market to shooting for gold just on form. Which is obviously why I've gone that way. But I think I'm happy to be with Orbison.
Yeah, it's coming out of a Cold Skeldington midweek class 3 at Doomben. Whereas shooting for gold. And
I'm backing it on potential. That's the bet. The bet's on potential completely. Happy to admit that.
Potentially might get Windburn.
By Orbison or from everything
So
else?
matter of fact, Mr. Lloyd. So matter of fact.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's a big if, and that's what we want to see. We want to see new horses come to the forefront.
It'd be great to see
Queensland racing.
extend the picket fence.
It would be. And in classic trainer fashion, there is no plan after this run. So, yeah, money's going well spent, their owners, like to every trainer. I'm on the other Van Dyke. I'm on Desert Lord, just because I know what he can do at this track.
Yeah.
And that's win one race from one start. And
that was the gold market.
Yeah, it was a gold market, which probably Tremonto hasn't saluted the form so much like Racecourse Road, but it's still at the time they were both up and about, those two horses. So it's still beat. I think there's a stack that are the overs here though. Like your boy Last Chance, mate.
Yeah.
Huge overs. Soxy going touch. Even Muncie's too. Plazerpan and Stampy. I don't think Stampy's ever run a bad race in his life, but I think a few of them maybe looking for further than the 1200. But cracker of a race. 4:30 and then sit down half an hour before the Archer. And Bean. Banger time, mate.
Mate, I think for me, I'm going to head back up the page and just, Remlet's Jam in the second. Bean's banger for this week. And then I have one around the grounds, this horse. I just keep backing it. They keep putting up a price and I just keep winning on it. And that is Caulfield Race 9, Defibrillate. 2 from 3, track and distance. Absolutely. I think it's 4 from 8 or something at Caulfield. Absolutely loves it. And it is a horse that sort of, sits midfield, but it tends to get round them and win at Caulfield. And I think it's about $8 or $9. Thank you very much.
Nice. Plain and simple for me for the best bet. I think you're still going to $1.60 Zaaki. It's dead set, put in, take out job. Around the grounds.
Brave.
No. Oh, yeah. Very brave, I know.
This will be great. At least sprig it up in the email that goes out.
Yeah. I haven't actually had a look at Caulfield for the around the grounds, but one in at Rocky, and I don't think there's any prices out yet. Admittedly, we might not get a price because its last 2 wins have been $1.70 and $1.22, but weaker grade steps up a fair bit in class. That's race 6, horse 3, Patrolling for Ricky Vale and Ryan Wiggins. I only had the 2 starts up that way. Former New South Wales galloper, second to the likes of Semi, and behind Foxfighter and Moralist at Hawkesbury 9 months ago. Been really impressive up that way. Rocky and Mackay, it's coming off wins. It'll just go forward lead. 61 kilos on its back, goes up a bit, but we goes with it. Not courtesy bus for Jared Wheeler, who he won the big 3 and 4-year-old race on last start.
Nice. So it's a bit of a push.
Yeah.
Pretty good day up at Rocky, to be honest.
Good day.
There's
the Amateurs Cup.
The Fitzroy, what's that race?
That's the Archer Consolation.
There you go. So there's pretty good decent field there.
Good river up there, the old Fitzroy.
Yeah, Fitzroy. Want to be on the right side of it from what I've heard. Must have. You could probably add Nettuno into the 2 that you've sprigged there for a nice little Gold Coast multi.
Yeah.
I think all 3 do win.
All 3 do win.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be great if they do, because forget the individual idiots taking favourites. The togetherness multi is what we're about.
The $6.50.
So around the grounds, there's a horse. I love this horse, and I've just sort of sucked myself into watching at least 2 races from Morphettville. But Behemoth is back in the Mackay Stakes. First up, carrying 62. But if you look at the field, Sav2 XL, the Inferno, they're both carrying 60. So weight-wise, not too much. But they bypassed an All-Star Mile to put him away to get him right. So I'm trusting the team.
Did he win the Goodwood last year?
No.
Sav2 XL did.
Sav2 XL.
Yeah, I remember
He
that.
Carried a stack. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
was
he's carrying the
top weight.
grandstand.
Yeah, will they be doing it again this year if that's where they go?
Yeah, well, what about up here? He might. He's a 1400 metre horse. A Stradbroke, you think would be.
Yeah, I think
He'll
he'll be
still
up
get
as well.
top 8 though, because Goodwood's a handicap.
Yeah, but what do you do from a Goodwood? You
still come
put him
straight
back
away.
in the.
Yeah.
You put him back in the paddock.
They all come up. 2 weeks into the Kingsford Smith, into 2 weeks into the Stradbroke.
Yeah, you're right. Not a bad little plan. Interesting runner. Anyway, it's good to see the good horses get back. That's what you want.
Great time of year.
Yeah, great time of year. Mugs, that's about it from us this week. I think we're up and about enough, so hope you enjoyed the vibes and
Huge week.
yeah, get around us if we get a start at the GC.
She'll start $20 if she gets a run, because everyone will be on.
Yeah.
She's already in a 67. I saw her on Sports.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was 91s when we sat in this chair.
Yeah.
It's been an hour. She's in the 67s
That-
and 14s.
I got 100 to 1 at 11 o'clock this
That
morning.
could almost be like a gambling record. Is someone setting up a plunge on an emergency runner that doesn't get a run.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen it? Hundreds into $15 and get scratched because it doesn't get a start. Anyway, see ya.
See you, Mugs.